everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I'm still loading on my end.
Okay.
Good morning. So I'd like, John, I think you're live. I think we're good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep, we're here. Hey guys, good morning. Happy Thursday to everybody.
Happy Thursday.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Today.
It's goal crushing day, right?
Absolutely.
So John's going to launch us here with some reminders from last week's call, just kind of a abbreviated version of what we talked about last week, and then we'll jump right into today's call. And
if you missed last week, we're going to have it posted, but it's already, if you scroll down in the impact group, you can see it from last Thursday. It was great. So go back and watch that if you haven't seen it.
All right, cool guys. So I guess we're live here, right? We're all good? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. All right. I wanted to kind of touch base a little bit last week of some of the scripts we went over. So I know that some of the stuff that some people wrote down, but I want to kind of go over the basic scripts of what we're doing and kind of just revisit. And then Shelley's got some really good stuff that she wants to share. So that being said, again, we're just going to revisit when we do these Zoom calls and we bring somebody in, that we always want to do things in threes. We want to grab a partner of who to bring in to do the presentation. So I just want to go through a quick script real quick. This is the same script we used last week. So when you're calling on that agent, for example, if an agent's looking at one of my properties, or I feel like I've had a good conversation with the agent, I'll just ask them a simple question. I'll say, if you thought you could be part of an organization and a firm that gave you a better value proposition for your business that could help you get more deals, ownership, stock options, and a retirement plan and low-cost health insurance, would you be willing to take a look? I'm just trying to ask them a simple question just to see if that there's something of value in there that they would be willing to take a look at. Now, once they say, yes, I would have an open mind to take a look at it, my next thing to them is to say, great, I'd love to introduce you to my partner blank, and whoever that partner is. Blank is amazing and very business-minded like us, such a true entrepreneur. I really believe you guys would get along great, and I'd love to get you connected. The whole point of this is to build that expectation that Zoom call that you're going to get on with, that they have to meet that person because that person is so wonderful and so fabulous. And, right now, me and Shelley have been doing a lot of stuff together, and I love Shelley and Craig, and, so they're great business partners of mine. So they bring value into my business. So I feel like that connecting them with that person is going to be beneficial to them. So at that point, they're excited they should be jumping on that Zoom call with that person. Now, once we get that locked in, the next question I have for them is I'm going to get that scheduled. And says, let me back up here. The next question would be, are you free to jump on a Zoom call within the next 3 days? This is extremely important, guys. You don't want to kick the can down the road too far out. You have them right now, so let's lock them in within the next 3 days. And when they say yes, say, great, I'm going to go get that scheduled. In the meantime, prior to us getting on a Zoom call, I'd love to share a quick 9-minute video with you that scratches the surface on the EXP model. We're going to dig in so much deeper on the model and how it will help you grow a better business and all the amazing things that we're doing with our partners and our organization together to grow a better business. This is so important because, again, it's setting that expectation for them of what that value proposition is going to be for that Zoom. Another quick thing I'll just go through real quick. We talked about negativity words. So again, the word sponsor, I never use that word sponsor. I don't look at Shelley and Craig as my sponsor or Brent Gove as a sponsor. I look at them as business partners for me. And that's all of us should look at each other as business partners. So get rid of that word sponsor, it's partner. And again, get rid of the word downline and upline. Like, don't say, oh, that person's in my downline or my upline. Say they're part of our organization, because you guys, we're locked arms together to grow. We are an organization that we've created and we want to leverage each other. The word recruitment is another word, because you hear that a lot. Well, I'm not into recruitment. And you could say, well, no, I'm not into recruitment either. I'm into attracting good business partners and agents into our organization. So we are focused on and like-minded to grow a better business together. One word is too, I hear a lot of agents go out there and say, well, you get stock options with our company. And to be honest with you, that's so confusing that people that are not financially focused on stocks. So the better word to say is you will have ownership within our company. And then later you can explain how that ownership works. So those are just a couple nuggets there that we talked about last week that I think that will help you guys get started and get moving along. I know Shelley has a lot of great information that she's wanted to share with us today, and I can't wait to hear that. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Shelley.
Thanks, John. That was awesome. I love the recap. And we always need reminding of all those things, especially how to talk about our organization. Talk about impact group, up network is great. Anything that you can bring value to your group is wonderful. Also, people don't understand revenue share. It's just a lot different than profit share. So when someone says, isn't it just like KW? No, it's completely different. It's not even the same business model whatsoever. So quickly, one of the things I wanted to share today was about talking about how once you get that three-way conversation, you set that appointment up, you send out the video beforehand to have them watch it so that they have their questions ready and we can be most effective with them. I was talking to Gene Frederick last week and he said, a lot of people are messing up the three-way calls. And it was funny because I caught myself where I was making mistakes, and John and I were just collaborating this morning on how we could do a better job on the next step, which is getting the next call after that, continuing the conversation. So we all are learning in this. None of us are perfect. We're just trying to figure it out as we go. And we're taking whatever great nuggets we have from the individuals around us who've done this at a high level and giving them back to you. So one thing is, as soon as you get on a three-way call, the one thing you want to do is, like, say if I'm calling John, John's going to be the person that's going to explain the company to this person and answer their questions and find out more about them. The first thing I do is I edify John for 15 seconds. John's a top leader in our industry. He crushes it in real estate. He produced over $23 million in sales by himself as an individual agent. He runs a great network where he empowers his agents and helps them elevate their business to a new level. So anything you know about that person, I could go on and on about John. So I do that for 15 seconds and tell them why, remind them why he's such a great person to have on this call. Then the next 30 to 45 seconds, I'm elevating. So double or triple the edifying time for the next person. Say it's Craig. Craig's amazing in social media marketing. He knows how to get out. He's built an incredible business, $123 million team. He's been in the business for 10 years. He, all the things that are great about Craig, like that's to say he's the person I'm attracting. I'm talking about Craig and his business, and I'm sharing with John how awesome Craig is for 2 to 3 times what I did for John. So does that make sense, guys? Did I explain that well?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay. So you're leveling your steps up.
Correct. So people like to hear about themselves. So when I'm edifying, that third person, say it's an agent, say Craig is the agent, that person's like, wow, they really value me. They understand who I am as a person. They understand what it took for me to build my business. They understand my family. He's got 3 kids. He's got 2 daughters and a son, like I'm telling that story to John, because John's the person, John's the person that's going to be talking to Craig. So once I finish, I shut up. I don't talk anymore. As agents, that's really hard for us because we want to help fix the world and fix all the problems, right? So we just close it. And then, because we have John on the phone for a reason. The reason we have John on the phone is to prove value to Craig for this company. So immediately we be quiet. Then what we do, John will start and say, hey, Craig, you have 3 kids. Awesome. How old are they? Tell me about them. So you live over in Denver. Awesome. Tell me about, why'd you choose there? I heard you're building a house. Like some of the things that are important to Craig beyond real estate, his family, like, I heard you like to travel to Florida to see your parents, just things that are important to that person, that their goals. Like, did you want to buy a house down there? Like start to understand their financial goals. Like, with 3 kids, John will say, I have a 9-year-old daughter. And he'll start asking questions. So he'll start relating back and forth to Craig with his own personal story to build that relationship. The whole goal is to get Craig to talk 2/3 of the time. It's a 2-to-1 ratio. Remember, 2 ears, 1 mouth. Same thing with this 3-way call. So we don't want to spew EXP onto them. We want to help them understand how their life could fit into EXP.
So Shelley, just a quick question real quick. So So that first initial conversation with them, what I love is what you do is you try to just get them to open up. You're not even talking about EXP at this point or how it could better their business. You're trying to understand them from a personal level and doing that connection, which in return gets their defenses down and lets them understand that, Shelley's a good person and she's human and I'm willing to talk to her now, right? You're kind of getting those defenses down per se.
You want to help them. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you want to help them feel comfortable because now we have a commonality. It's not just here's EXP, here's what it can do for your family. Here it is. And you're just taking a stab at every possible angle that possibly might be interesting to them, which may not be interesting at all. Go ahead, Craig.
Well, I mean, I would totally agree. I think that's one of the most important parts about one of these conversations is because when you get that person to talk, and that's kind of like 101 in anything like this, like they'll open up and unload everything if you break down that barrier. And they'll tell you their likes, their pain points, their struggles, what they love. They will just unload. It's just like talking to a buyer that you finally get through to on, from an internet call. If you can break down that barrier and find a common ground with them, they just unload. And then that's what you'll be able to focus on more and really get close to them and having that conversation.
And you're understanding their why, right, Shelley, to a certain extent?
Yeah, you're understanding their why. And you know what else happens during that process? You start to understand their pain points. And if we can solve someone's pain point, like time freedom, a lot of people will say, I'm working 7 days a week. I don't have time for my wife or my kids. I've got college coming up. So then what we can do is we can show them how we can increase. One, we start with their real estate sales. How does EXP help them with their business? Because at the beginning, they can't really fathom how they could possibly acquire revenue share. That's like the last thing they really are thinking about. It may be exciting to them, so you definitely want to hit on those points, but stock is definitely something that they can do while they're doing their business. And with the stock prices being so high, you guys, this is a great opportunity. Everyone's eyes are wide open. So all it takes is that initial call that John's making, getting that appointment. But if you don't pick that phone up to get that initial appointment, you never have the opportunity to have this three-way call. And then it's really easy for us because we know the insides and outs of EXP to start then spewing on them. Even though we went through that process, we can then start to like pound them with, this can fix your problems. This can fix your problems. That's not how to do it. The best way to do it is, okay, I heard what you said. You have a daughter going to school in 5 years. This is what I've found. So, when you can say, this is what I found, it kind of makes it, oh, okay, well, they've discovered this too. Because sometimes if you start just shooting information at somebody, it makes them feel like they're not smart. So you want to help them understand that you also went through this discovery process. So found, what is it? The felt found, what I felt, what I found. So you want to be relatable. I can't remember that, but that's a good felt found. I think is it. But use some of those things, like be thinking, be listening to respond, not just listening to react. So when they're talking, really be thoughtful in your response so that you can really connect again, keep that connection going through the whole meeting. And your energy level has to be high. Like if you start to get like real monotone, you've got to like be inflective and like, oh my gosh, I get that. Like be inflective in your speech pattern, because what happens is we know this so rote, it becomes so rote to us and so like just a speech that we have to remember we're in a conversation, not just talking at the person. And if they want to talk, let them talk. Just be quiet, right? Let them go, let them go, let them go, let them go. And they be thinking the whole time about how you can respond to them talking and hit those key points.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say that enough is get them to talk, because when they talk, they give you information, and that gives you information to focus on. So many times we don't know, we're going in blind and we don't know what their pain point is, and you're going left and all their pain's on the right because you didn't listen. And they're like, I don't care about stock. I don't care about this. I want to double my business. That's my goal. Yeah. Especially because they don't know about like stock and revenue share. So sometimes, if that's not their pain point, you don't go down that road as much.
Yeah.
I notice a lot of times when we're doing this, Shelley or myself, when they're talking, we're making notes. So
Mhm.
we're trying to figure out where our company would be able to help them. As a good business partner, bringing them in, the job is for them to guide them, right? So we're trying to figure out, depending on the level of agent, if it's like you said last week, Craig, if it's an agent that's doing, 125 deals a year and is burnt out, maybe their goals are different than an agent that's doing, $2 or $3 million a year and they want to grow to 10. So we need to figure out how our systems can help them grow a better business. And if you do that and you show value to them, then they're going to be more intrigued to learn more about why this company has helped you grow a better business.
So true. It's so true. Like if you like, one thing I will say John does really, really well is he tries to figure out the person's business, like their actual like sales volume, like what did they do last year? And then he plugs it in and shows them where they could win in that. So I think that'd be a great, something to show down the road we can help you with. But the most important thing is to get to know the person, and they'll tell you. John's really good at asking the questions that will help them think. I've noticed, like on the call, like for instance, you'll say, well, you did 12 transactions last year, right? He doesn't just assume that he has it right. He asks the questions. No, I did 24. Oh my gosh, that's killer. I can't believe you did that. That's awesome. Because we know when someone hits a certain number of transactions, they're different. That's a different agent. So for instance, someone does 34 transactions, we know they're an icon agent.
Mm-hmm.
So then we can really lean into the icon. If we talk about icon when someone's at 15 transactions, that's irrelevant to them.
Yeah.
They don't even know how they're going to get to 34 transactions to become an icon agent. So we talk about the other things. We lean harder on the other things that we know apply to them, and maybe touch on icon, but barely touch on it. And we've all been trying to figure this game out of how to help someone understand the company the best.
Yeah. And another thing I just want to say real quick, Shelley, is that, I don't want anybody to think that they can't, we need to lean on each other. We have so much talent in our organization. So don't ever feel like oh, I can't go out there and talk to that agent because I did, $1 million in real estate last year. That's why it's more important to connect with people that are surrounding you in our organization and partner with them. All of us are always here for everybody. That we're accessible. If you guys want to call us or text us or ask us a question of what's working, we're willing to extend ourselves to do that. So what we're doing today is collaborating, but just because an agent is a producing agent, you're like, well, how do I do that? Or maybe I'm not a Craig and Shelley, or maybe I'm not at that level. Don't feel like that. Your value is in your organization. Your value is with the people that are all surrounding us. We have so many different talent levels inside of our organization that run their businesses so differently. And what I love about us, we always want to collaborate with each other.
I love that, John, because you're so right. If you sold your first house, it doesn't matter, because you have so much talent that's who your group is. Your organization is your support. Here's the thing that will maybe make all of you think a little bit differently too. Some people go, oh, well, Craig and Shelley, they have a big team. I'm not like them. So like, not talking about you as agents on this call, but like if we reached out to somebody, they may like, well, you're reaching out to me and I do $3 million. I'm not trying to be some mega team, or they don't visualize that. So they think they can't relate to us maybe. So everyone has their relational pieces where they can plug in and then lean on, lean down, lean everywhere. I mean, just find the person that best relates to your person and their story. And we can all win together, which is the whole goal.
And then another thing too, is I would like to say that, we had a good conversation of what revenue share means for a lot of us. So, if you guys think about that, Shelley gave a great analogy that if you just put on 5 agents and then that agent's family tree grows to 30 agents total, that could be an extra $2,000 or $3,000 a month that you could just pump right back into your business and help you to continue to grow. So what I would like everybody to do is you need to set goals like for yourself. And I'm not saying this has to be your number one focus. Obviously, we're selling real estate is, but make it a goal. So is that goal of like, I want to talk to 2 agents a week, block 30 minutes a week, or whatever the case is. My coach said something to me last week, and a lot of you guys that know me really well, I'm the coach that coaches the coaches for the Mike Berry organization is my coach, and she keeps me in line. But she she brought out a very good point, and everybody should write this down because it really weighed on me a lot. My dreams weigh more than my excuses. So think about that for a second. Like, all of us wake up and we're like, I want to grow a better business. I want to be successful. I want to do this. So, but they don't want to, they don't want to be put in uncomfortable spots. So it's just like everything. Like, I talk to people in the office here that are prospecting, and I say to them, like, if I put $10,000 in front of you right now and said that you had to make your calls and do what you're supposed to be doing for 2 hours a day, 30 days a week, and you would guarantee to get that $10,000, would you do it? And they're like, yeah. Pain versus pleasure. Just put a goal down and run with it, guys. And you have the support unit and all of us to help support you. So, like I said, just set a goal of whatever that goal is personally, and just stick with it, and you guys will start seeing the return on this. I think it's a lot of it's mentally, people get, well, I can't do that, and then they don't focus, or I don't have the time. Well, if you don't have the time but you want to do it, then that's just an excuse, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to put yourself you got to put yourself out there.
Yeah, it might mean just taking 2 or 3 hours extra a week, carving out, we all come up with, we're all guilty of doing stuff that's really not a high level activity. Like, what it might mean to you is, instead of like, you might dig into something that makes you really comfortable, you just live in that comfortable spot. But as soon as you can just jump out of that for an hour, like, just your first challenge should be an hour where you focus on this. Maybe you put your list together on Sunday night or Monday morning, first thing when you wake up, and then you set a goal to reach out to those 2 agents per day or 1 agent per day, whatever gets you to get started. If you just take that first step, then that will make all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Hey guys, why don't I do kind of a little in review, and then you guys finish up with, kind of closing statements. So we're talking about the 3-way call and the importance of the 3-way call. So 3-way call it's a lot easier to have that third party validation. That is key, guys. You got to have, even if you are fantastic at talking about this model and you try and explain it to them, it comes across as a pitch. So you need to have that third party validation. So edify that partner, that third party partner. So if you're bringing someone like John or Shelley into the call, you're edifying them, telling how amazing they are. And then once you bring them on the call, you're flipping that edification around to the attracted partner. So the attracted person, you're going to talk to John or Shelley about, like, what they've done in the production, how great they are, how on the up they are. Then shut up, as Shelley said. Then the third party partner takes over. So if John was my partner, John would take over. And then John's going to start with more of a personal approach. He's going to find common ground. He's going to look for goals, likes. Once they open up, like I said before, once they open up, they're going to spew a bunch of information that is very important to them. And then that's what John is going to focus on and see how the EXP model can help them, that really ties to that person. I was on a call yesterday, a 3-way call with someone, and I did just that. And it is amazing what you can find out about people. Listen for words like support, production, transactions, leads, hiring an admin, building a team, I want to retire, my goals, my why. Those are the key things that third party person can tie in to how this works. And it works great when you do it right. And I don't always do it right myself, but it's just amazing that we're talking about this today, and it worked so well yesterday. So you guys.
Yeah. And then just one other quick note that I forgot to mention in the beginning: help whoever you're bringing on that call. So if I'm bringing Shelley on that call, I make it super important that I give Shelley a quick background on that person before she jumps on, so she's not just up in the air, not knowing if this is a producing agent, not a producing agent. Like, are they a husband and wife team? Do they have, an 8-person team? Like, give them a quick give your person that you're partnering with a really good outline on them. And that will help Shelley or whoever that is understand that the way maybe that direction has to go a little bit, or like Craig said, you got to give her a path, right, Craig?
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, kind of, I like what John does about, you know, maybe giving them that 9-minute video and just say, I love that you say scratching the surface.
Yeah.
That leaves the carrot out there. And there's so much more. This just scratches the, you know, so that you can have an intelligent conversation with them when you're in that third party, because that's very important. If you hop on a third party call and they're like, I know nothing, that's not good, because it's like, why are we here? We're going down a bad path.
So one of the ways that, remember we talked about getting that person talking, one of the ways to do that is just keep asking questions so that person has to talk. And then eventually you're going to hit a question. So like, here's some great questions to ask, like for that person, like a John who's on the call, or Craig. What do you know about EXP? What do you like? What things have you heard that you don't like? And then after, like somewhere during the conversation, and this is how John and I were talking earlier, how do we transition from that call that we had this great call with this person? Now what? What do we do with them? Like now they're just kind of like, okay, now what? So we're trying to really hone ourselves in on that, because we think we could do a better job. But some things you could do now is you could say, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you with this company? What do you think about this company? And they will tell you their objections. They'll say, I'm like a 5. You're like, okay, fair. You're not going to get them to a 10. Yeah. But if they say they're a 7 or an 8, they're going to say, and if I only could understand how I'm going to I have a closing coordinator where I came from, like, who's going to do that for me? Or how am I, you know, or it could be something like, you know, I've got 10 deals over at XYZ company, and I don't know how that's going to look. I'm capped where I am. My cap is paid. So like you say, you know what? And then you can say, you know what, let me get that for you. And then the next thing you want to do is set an appointment, whether it's another appointment with you on the say it's Thursday, and you say, you know what, let's talk on Monday. Do you have some time Monday morning? And get that appointment set up for Monday. Say that they need another edification call. Say that like they talk to me, and now like the next person would be AJ Maida. So like, you know, your group who's in your organization that may be your next talking person. Say it's Craig. Say, talk to me. I'm like, you know, my business partner is amazing. You really need to get to know Craig. Or it could be AJ. AJ could get on a call with them. Or it could be Cliff Freeman. I will tell you real quick, next time we do our meeting, I'm going to give you, Craig and I are going to give you who is in your organization and how you can utilize that person and what they're really good at. And that way you can marry and match that person to the person you're talking to. So then we always start with AJ, then Cliff, and then Brent, and then Sheila Fageron's great. All of these people will help you. And it doesn't have to be someone who's actually above you in your organization. It could be someone who's lateral, or someone that just does a great business that you have a ton of respect for that will help you. It could even be someone outside of our group altogether. I've done that before even. But basically that's what you want to do. You want to get that next meeting set up. John and I are going to do a better job of that. I think that I could have definitely done a better job of that. So those are just some quick, and John's got some great scripting on that for our next call to help move that meeting to the next level. But just in the meantime, right now, keep it simple and just work on, okay, are you available next Tuesday? Are you available Monday? Whatever day it is. And then you'll find someone to plug in as that third person if you need another third person. Just get them committed to a date and a time. The other thing I would share with you, hold on, I lost my train of thought. What questions today would help you feel more comfortable? Like if they have questions that they're asking, what would help you feel more comfortable? Like get them talking. Just keep that conversation going, and then I'm gonna let you finish up, John.
Yeah. So I mean, I think I hear this a lot, especially from people in our organization. Like, oh, I don't want to bother you, John, or I don't want to do this. Like, you guys, listen. All of us as partners, please bother us. We want to be bothered. We're here to grow together. So don't ever feel like that you can't shoot any of us a text, or anybody in our organization, because you got to remember we're linked arms together for all of us to grow a better business. So what I love so much about Brent and Sheila is no matter how big and how successful they have been, they're always willing to extend themselves out to help us. And that's a true business partner. Anytime that I've ever, I mean, I love Craig and Shelley as friends, but anytime I've ever needed anything from Brent, they've been there for me. So I don't want anybody to feel in our organization that they don't want to reach out to somebody because that might bother somebody. So shoot a text, ask a question. All of us are here to help each other grow. And if we do this together, we're going to be more successful together. So I just want to put that out there because I do hear that a lot, like, oh, I don't want to bother that person.
Yeah, I mean, we'll,
Mhm.
you know, we'll also
That
give,
hurts.
you know, we'll ask you some questions and give you some direction to make it an easy transition and a flow. And, you know, if you haven't done X, Y, and Z yet, here, try and get this information or do this, and then let's set it up. We'll give you that.
Yeah, and we're doing this every Thursday, guys, at 9:30. We're going to try to, you know, Shelley and Craig and myself, we're going to try to bring people in to add value. And if there's any questions, obviously put it in the chat, and then we'll respond to the chat, just answering questions and so forth. But the goal is for us to grow together as a family and just have an amazing 2021.
Awesome.
Yep. It'll be
Thanks, everybody.
have an awesome weekend and everything.
Love you guys. Have a great
Thanks.
week. And then we'll get on next Thursday again.
Yeah, spread the
Thanks.
word and push people to the recording that's on the impact page. Thanks, everybody.
All right, guys. See you later. Have a good week.